All right, hello, good evening, or good morning, whatever time you're watching this. Um, I am going to make a fish stew. Basically, I'm going to use somewhat a lot of the ingredients that I used in my last video making the Nigerian stew. But with this one, I'm using cod fish, which you can use any type of fish that you choose. The first thing I like to do is get my oil hot in the pan, and then I like to season it. I still like to use the Obey season. This is a little different outside of the Nigerian actual tradition of making the fish stew, but this is just my own flavor that I add to my stew. And it just helps give it that nice seafood taste. And so I also, of course, like I said before, garlic is one of my number one ingredients in all of my dishes that I make, as well as curry. And so I just put sprinkle a little bit of that on. I have turned the fire off because I've had it getting pretty hot for a little while now. And I'm just going to pre-fry my fish, and then I will add my stew to it. It's really hot. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning right now. So I'm trying not to speak too loud since everyone in the house is sleeping. But my husband will be going to work very early, and so he has a long work day. I wanted to make sure I make a nice meal for him to take with him to work for lunch and dinner, because he's kind of doing a double shift. I'm going to put one more codfish. And I will add, again, my seasonings. I need to put the fire back on. And so it's kind of going to give it a pre-fry, because I don't want the fish is soft and it cooks very fast. So what you don't want is for your fish stew to have a whole bunch of little pieces and chunks of fish inside. So I like to give it a little bit of a fry, just to kind of stabilize it, if you will, together. Okay. And more than likely I will try to let it fry. I want to keep moving it around so it doesn't stick. Even though I did put a good amount of oil at the bottom, I don't want it to stick. Again, I don't want little pieces of the fish to stick to the bottom. So I'm just going to kind of move it around a little bit to be sure that it doesn't stick, because fish is so easy to stick to the bottom of the pan. Now, when I do frying, I don't typically use batters or anything like that, your flours and all that. I pretty much fry even my chicken without the flour or batters. Okay, so it's cooking really well. I'm just going to start turning it over. You just got to be really careful, and you don't want your fire too low, because it will start to munch up a little bit. See, that's starting to munch just a little bit. Okay. So you want to have it at least a little high to fry, where it's not going to start munching up. And so now with this, I'm letting it fry a little bit, and I'm going to start taking out some of my oil, because that oil is there to help it fry, but it's not my main oil ingredient. I'm gonna use another scooper to take out. So as it cooks, I like to start just taking some of my oil out, because I am using palm oil, which is a red oil that I have to add to this. Now, the palm oil gives it a very nice taste. It's a different flavor from what you have tasted with any other oil. It fries really nicely with the regular vegetable oil, but you don't want to fry it in your palm oil, okay? Palm oil is basically used more or less for the actual season of it all. It's not an oil that's used to fry, okay? And this is palm oil. Very nice oil. Pretty expensive as well, but very nice. This again you can find at the African Caribbean stores. And so what I'll do is add a little bit of that. And palm oil, it comes to a solid when, you know, it's like in the cabinets, and sometimes in the wintertime I have to get it started, I have to put it in the microwave. But this one I can squeeze out, see, and how it comes out. So you want to put a little bit of that there to give it that flavor. And I'll just put a little more here, and then that should be good. Again, you want to keep moving your fish around a little bit. Now, there are several ways I do this. Sometimes I would just do it like this, and I will maybe open up maybe a can of tomato sauce, or blend me some fresh tomatoes and onions. But I would like to show you an easier way. If you have been watching my other video with the Nigerian stew, it's just much easier if you already have some stew made from the Nigerian stew that have the tomato sauce, the hot pepper, and the onions, and all the other seasonings that I've mentioned already blended inside together in the blender. That's the better way for you to go to make your stew. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add my stew that I just made. And once I add that, that's going to help cook it all together and give it flavor. So remember, this has vegetable oil, tomato sauce, tomato paste. It has the Knorr seasoning already in it, the chicken cubes in there. And it has your onions and your hot pepper. And let me show you an example of the hot pepper. Okay, and these are the hot peppers. Now you have to use it depending on to your own taste. I used, in this stew, I used 3. But it wasn't very hot. I probably could have put 1 or 2 more in there. So it just depends on your spice level or how spicy you like to have your meals. So this is cooking very well. It's not sticking. Okay. And so this is going to be a very nice stew. You can add a little more because when you're putting the stew on it, you keep in mind that you're going to eat this with one of your starches. So you can put this with rice. I'm going to use rice for my husband for his lunch for tomorrow. However, for my kids, or if my husband was going to be home, then we could do the pounded yam. And I'm going to do another video on the pounded yam because that one is the one that you can eat with your hands, and it's really nice. It goes well with your stews. Okay, so this is ready. This is done. This is it. This is a very quick meal. If you feel like time is not on your side and you need to make a nice meal for your family without taking up a whole hour, this is the meal. Quick, easy, fish cooks fast, very well seasoned, and all you have to do is put it over rice. And I use a rice cooker, so once I put the rice in the rice cooker, 20 minutes later it's ready. So my fish was actually ready before my rice. So that shows you how fast it is to make a nice fish stew. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the comment section below. And also make sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell. That way, anytime I upload more videos, you'll be aware of the videos right away. Okay? So enjoy your meal, and I will see you next time.